Okay, well, thank you very much, Ben. And this today, I've got my old friend Pablo Sultana from Clean and Green to talk to today. How are you, Paul?
I'm great, thanks, Fiona.
Good. And you're here with us today to give us an update on Clean and Green, aren't you? So we're going to have a little chat and just talk about all the different aspects that you've been doing. So, Clean and Green, founded a couple of years ago, wasn't it, Paul? What were the
Yeah,
what are the origins of Clean and Green?
well, basically, we formed 3 years ago, and there was probably myself and two or three other people really and we were doing a lot of mainly litter picking, but we were doing it in our isolated groups. And I suggested that what we needed to do is work together with a lot of the other established groups to try and stop us from all duplicating what we're doing and struggling to reinvent the wheel and all that kind of stuff. Really is a support, a collaborative support thing. And it's just gone crazy since then, really.
It has indeed. So, what have you been? What have you guys been doing? Obviously, Clean and Green was flourishing to begin with, which is
Mm.
absolutely fantastic. Then lockdown hit. So the first question for most of my interviews at the moment is, how have you been coping as a business? Well, as Clean and Green during lockdown.
Yeah, well, it's been a challenge as everything. Um, it's been a real challenge because in some ways littering and fly tipping has gone through the roof because more people are going out and for this the socially distanced exercise and stuff. So we're seeing lots of littering, lots of fly tipping out there because people can't take their rubbish to tips and stuff. But on the other hand, we've not been able to operate as we have been because obviously we can't do group work. We can only go out exercising and do very limited stuff. So really the litter picking and the general environmental stuff has really had to be put on hold a lot of the time. So that's the one side. And then we very quickly realized because we've got such a lot of members across Solihull, mainly North Solihull and Birmingham, we realized that people were struggling and we needed to do something differently, and we needed to remobilize what we was doing in Clean and Green.
So you actually adapted a little bit there. So what kind
we
of
we
things did you
did.
adapt to?
Well, firstly, we realised that people were struggling with their shopping, and particularly a lot of vulnerable people living on the breadline or below the breadline. So we started to work very closely. Clean and Green are part of something called Kingshurst Rainbow Alliance, which again is another community network of similarly minded community groups within Kingshurst. And we started to get together we decided we needed to provide food bank stuff. So we were liaising with places about getting donations of food. And we were actually then putting together care packages, weekly care packages of food and essential items to go out to people across Birmingham really that really needed them.
Wow,
We were putting out about between 100 and 350 care packages a week at one stage.
that's
Um,
fantastic, Paul.
yeah, it's
That's
very
brilliant.
different to
Yeah.
litter picking, but it was more necessary.
Yes, yes. So at the time, you kind of focused where the demand was and what they needed rather than the community clean-up kind of thing. But that's brilliant. Well done. And well done to
Thank you.
everyone, yeah, everyone who's contributed to that. That's fantastic. But
Well, I've got to say, Fiona, sorry for interrupting. I've got to say that, Clean and Green, people often just see me and hear me, my voice droning on about it. But, at the moment, we've got 415 fantastic members of
wow.
Clean and Green. So it is a massive network of really great, caring people. Not everyone goes out there and does stuff. Probably at least a half to two-thirds of those 415 are literally just supporters, and they go on social media, they interact with us, they support and they encourage us and they alert us to problems. But it isn't about me, it's about a large number of people coming together and helping each other out and the community
And that is
especially.
fantastic. To have the majority of them in the north of Solihull as well is brilliant because you know, we're all seen as the poor cousin of Solihull, aren't we? But it's nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's nice to think that people that they respect and they love the area that they live in and they want to keep it clean and they want to keep it tidy. So that's good news. That's really, really good news. Um, so that sounds like a lot of care packages. How have you managed to fund those care packages, though, Paul? Because you can't put them all out of your own pocket, surely.
No, it's been very difficult, and I've got to say, I think, I wanted to talk about funding maybe a bit later, because Clean and Green as a community organisation, we get no funding really, other than um, we've had some funding from West Midlands Police, which was brilliant, um, but that was only a relatively small amount. We work on a very low operating costs because we're all volunteers. And I'll be honest, we've put our own money into it often to keep things going. Clean and Green very, very nearly went under as a voluntary non-profit organisation during the lockdown, because demand went up, and and people like myself that were helping to self-fund it as well, our businesses went down and our financial impacts were hitting.
Of course, yeah.
So we really nearly had to just turn around and say enough's enough. We're working hard, but we're struggling to cope ourselves really. So but thankfully we have had some more funding come through. We've had people helping. A couple of businesses have supported us. So one is Asda Chelmsley Wood. They've supported us with a couple of big donations of food, which has gone to the care packages. And there's also a restaurant in an Indian stroke Bangladeshi restaurant in Marston Green called Kutumbari.
Oh,
They've partnered with us before in the past. Beautiful, fantastic food, and they continually contact me. Actually, I don't have to harass them. They contact me regularly and say, Paul, Pablo, whatever. They say, can we help you? What do we need to do next? And we've actually sent food packages out to Saxon Court care home over in Chelmsley Wood.
I remember
We've
seeing
done
that.
food donations to and I think we sent out 350 Indian, lovely, hot, delicious takeaways to 350 vulnerable people as part of a care package run, and that went to all around Solihull and Birmingham, thanks to Kutumbari Restaurant. And we've done we've done food donations for NHS staff, ambulance stations, Arran Court Rest Home in Marston Green, Tile Cross. So it really has been lovely to see that kind of coming together.
That must have been pretty scary though to think that you'd have to Clean and Green would have to finish because of COVID. So it's great. It's really good news, Paul, that you've managed to keep it above water and help
Oh,
so many people
yeah,
in the process as well. Well done. Blimey. So
yeah. Thanks. And again, it's down to all the members have pulled together and really supported and helped us with some funding bits as well.
well done to Kumbari as well and Kingshurst Rainbow Alliance and Asda.
Mm.
So um, that's all the thank yous and all the people that have got involved. And what about the future for Clean and Green? What's the plans?
Well, the future's looking really good, and again, post lockdown, we're going to be resuming a lot of the litter picking. I mean, to the group stuff, but I've got to say, in terms of the litter picking throughout that, um, I've just done my figures for this last month of all the volunteers and the different subgroups that have done litter picking and stuff around around North Solihull, and I think we've probably achieved our most busiest and most successful month so far. And I'm pleased to say, let me just refer to my notes so I get it right.
Yeah, that's
But
okay.
in the last month or March so far, we, our volunteers and the subgroups of Clean and Green have collected over 650 bags of rubbish from the streets and green spaces
That's
of around North Solihull. 270 of those bags were from one litter picking group that I've got to shout out. Is Castle Bromwich litter pickers,
yeah,
and
well
they've
done.
literally got just 25 members, and yet they've collected over 277 bags of rubbish just in a month.
Yeah. Do you know what?
So
That is, yeah, I'll say That is great, but it's also a little bit disappointing that there's so much to collect. But as you say, people are out and about a little bit more because they're doing their hours
Yeah,
exercise around in the green areas. But people could be more responsible, couldn't they, Paul? What kind of things can
absolutely.
we do to make sure that your guys are? We want the litter pickers to be idle, to be searching for the
We
litter.
do. We've got far more important things that we could be doing with our time and our money rather than picking up other people's rubbish, Fiona. And that's the key message we've got to get across to people. And to be honest, the councils need to do more to support us in the enforcement and education side of things, because it's quite obvious. It is heartbreaking when we spend our precious time going out cleaning streets day after day, and then the next day go out there and find it's all been littered again.
Mm.
And we are finding a lot of the litter that we're finding is not historical litter because we picked it up, new stuff, and it's been thrown from cars, and a lot of it is fast food
Yeah.
and drinks and that
Do
kind of
see that.
stuff. So
I live along the embankments, so I see like on a going to the school run on a Monday morning, you can see that someone's had a McDonald's and thrown everything out the window. They've had a Coke or whatever, and that's on there. And you can see we've got a special name for them, and I'm not sure I could say it, but I'm sure you can imagine what it is.
yeah, yeah, I can
Another
imagine.
word for throwing their litter out.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
But the thing
I
is, Fiona, it's so pointless as well. It's so needless, really, because,
think it
you know,
home.
people have gone to a drive-through or something. They've got the stuff in the car. They're eating in the car. Their journey's probably only going to be 10 minutes. They're going to be home and they can put that stuff in the footwell of the car and they can put it in their bin and recycle it. So
I
please,
did what you were going
that's
to
the
say. The
no,
football.
so the key message is please, you know, we want to be idle. Next month I want us to have just 100 bags
Mm.
of litter picked up because we don't need to. And we could be spending, the volunteers would still be as busy as ever, but they'll be doing more important things like helping out in care homes and elderly people's homes and fundraising for other more essential things, supporting the NHS and supporting people that are still suffering from the effects of long COVID and that kind of thing.
And maybe even
Um,
putting some fun back into the community activities. So,
well, you know, you asked about plans for the future. I can't really divulge too much
oh,
tonight today, but really one of the things we are looking very closely at, and particularly working with our local parish councils, particularly Kingston's parish councils, we want to actually do a bit of a celebration. People coming out of lockdown, we want to actually have some kind of big celebrations in open spaces to embrace our open spaces and say, look, let's just get together, have a bit of an outdoor party, enjoy ourselves. Again, perhaps combine it with some food fairs or some food giveaways, like an outdoor um, food bank type thing as well. People can come along, give out what we need, show the love, and have some great fun again.
yeah, oh, that'd be so nice. I'm there. I'm
Yeah.
totally there, Paul, honestly. Wow. Well, Pablo, it's been so nice to speak to you this afternoon. It's been a while, but it's lovely to catch up.
Yeah, it's
And
lovely. Thanks again.
no problem.
Fiona, can I just say something as well? We've been loving your Dirty Dance Floor show as well. So you're playing all the right kind of music, and it's really given us a bit of a buzz as well. So thank you
Oh,
for that.
thank you,
We're loving it.
Paul. That's Wednesday nights, 9 o'clock, just for everyone listening. Thank you. Thanks for
You
that.
just plugged your own show on your own show
I
then.
know. Well, it's Ben's show. Yeah, he knows what you mean.
Oh yeah,
Thank you, Pablo. I love that. Yeah, so I'm sure when that announcement is all firmed up and got some details, you'll be able to come back and tell us all about it. Okay, then, Paul.
yeah. You'll be the first to hear about it.
Yay. Thanks so much for joining today, then. We're going back over to Ben in the studio.